Hello everyone, this is the Joke Fiend. There was a doctor by the name of Dr. Smith, and he was a very loved man in the community that he worked in. He would often walk into town, go to the corner store, get a gallon of milk or a newspaper, and everyone would just stop what they were doing just to greet this guy. They'd be like, "Hello, Dr. Smith," and Dr. Smith would come over, be there to greet you with a handshake, a smile, a pat on the back, and ask you if there was anything he could do for you. He was just such a loved and adored man in this community, and he's a very, very, very hard man to hate. I mean, his patients loved him, the doctors that knew him loved him, the nurses loved him, and just everyone in general loved him. But it was the job that he did in life, his job as a doctor, that really kept him from pursuing passions and just left him with little free time in his life. And as he was getting into his elder years, Dr. Smith would step back and look at his life and say, "Boy, I love that I've done so much as a doctor, but I've never really got to pursue the passions that I've wanted to pursue since I was a child." So he examines things further. He looks at his bank account, says to himself again, I have more than enough money saved just to live happy and healthy off of the rest of my life. I'm going to go ahead and quit my practice. So the doctor does just that. Goes into work, talks to all the nurses, all his patients, and all the people in the community. Thanks them for all the loving and caring and just all the gratitude they've given him over the years. But he says, I have to move on and pursue one of the things that I've always wanted to pursue my entire life, and that is to become a hunter. People are kind of stunned at first, but you know what? If he has pursuits in life he wants to pursue, then by God, he should do them. So he does that, gathers up all his possessions, buys a little cottage in a forest outside of town, and starts his life as a hunter. Now, he had always wanted to be a hunter. In fact, he wanted to be it ever since a child, but his father was always against hunting, never really taught him how to shoot a rifle or anything like that, and no relatives were really into it, but it was something that always fascinated him. So Dr. Smith starts out small. He knows he's not going to go out right away and, catch that big game-winning buck or anything like that, and decides to become a duck hunter. He knows of a pond in the area where a number of duck hunters gather. He sees ducks there all the time, so he says that's a great place to start. So he gets all the equipment, gets the rifle, gets that little chair, sets himself up in some swamp grass, gets the camouflage, and he sees those ducks flying out, and he starts shooting at them, and has a really hard time getting his aim down, trying to hit the ducks, and he just can't do it at first. But as the day wears on, his aim gets a little better, and then all of a sudden, bam! He hits one of the ducks. Hits it, clips it right in the wing, just enough that he's gonna get his first official kill as a hunter. The duck kind of is just flying lamely in the air, and it kind of glides about a mile away. He sees it flying to the ground, and he's just so excited. Oh boy, I got my first kill as a hunter. This is something I've been dreaming about ever since I was a kid. So he hops in his truck. Dr. Smith drives down the road to where the duck landed, but right before where the duck landed, there's a fence. It says no trespassing, private property, and it's a farmland area. The doctor's like, oh dear, it's kind of a bummer that it landed out here, but it's my first kill. I really want this duck. I'm gonna have it, mounted on over my fireplace, and it's, be a nice prized possession. And oh boy, I've been looking forward to this day. So he opens up the fence and he just goes into this farmer's land. He goes to where the duck is. The farmer's there. The farmer reaches down, picks up the duck, and starts walking away with it. Dr. Smith goes, whoa, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, but I was actually out hunting, and I shot the duck, and it kind of landed in your yard. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm just here to take it off your hands. I apologize. And the farmer goes, the duck landed on my yard. It's my property. I get to keep the duck. And the doctor's like, well, yeah, I know, Mr. Farmer, but, and he explains the whole thing of how he wanted to be a hunter since he was a child, and, the farmer's listening to everything, and the doctor says, so I want the duck, it means a lot to me. And the farmer goes, well, that's all well and good, doctor, but, it still landed on my farm, it's my property, I get to keep the duck. And the doctor's like, What are you talking about? Did you not hear my story? I mean, I'll pay you for the duck. I mean, if it means that much, I'll give you $100 for it right now. And the doctor's like, what don't you understand? It landed on my property. It is my duck. The doctor's like, you're nuts. I'll give you $1,000 for it. I want the duck. And the farmer's like, all right, look, I understand that you want the duck and you're just really going to extremes here. I'm a sporting man and I'm willing to compromise here. So what we can do is we will Rochambeau each other for the duck. And the doctor's like, Rochambeau each other? What the hell are you talking about? And the farmer explains to the doctor, look, what that is one of us is going to kick each other in the nuts, and the person that takes the longest amount of time to get back up to their feet does not get to keep the duck. And the doctor's like, you're insane! Give me the goddamn duck! And the farmer's like, you get no duck. I'm going to go inside and call the police and have you arrested for trespassing. And the doctor's like, oh, Jesus Christ, you've got to be kidding me. All right, fine. We will Rochambeau each other for the duck. Who goes first? The farmer says, I do. He goes, what do you mean you go first? Why do you get to go first? Private property, trespassing, I'll call the cops. Fine, the doctor says. Kick me in the nuts and let's get this over with. If I get to my feet before you can get to your feet, then whatever. So the farmer says, all right, sets the duck down. Doctor stands there, spreads his legs. Doc just stands there. He doesn't want to get the hit. And then the farmer comes up and bam, he kicks the shit out of the doctor. Kicks him so hard that the doctor is seeing stars and he flat out just falls to the ground and passes out. He goes out cold. Farmer's sitting there and he just nods, picks up the duck, goes into the house. 5 hours go by. Farmer looks out from the front porch of the farmhouse, sees the doctor start squirming around. The doctor just barely starts coming to, and he's real woozy, and he's trying to collect his thoughts, and he realizes, what happened? There was a duck. I was hunting, and there's a farmer. And just as the doctor's thinking that, the farmer starts walking back from the farmhouse, and he sees the farmer coming and he goes, that's the goddamn farmer. So the farmer walks up. Doctor looks up to him. He goes, all right, you son of a bitch. Now it's my turn. Farmer throws in a duck, goes, never mind, you can have it.